Yeah, we have reached the straight level jacket of the asylum. On planet Earth, it's beyond straight jacket. You're going into Thorazine and all of that, man. I got to give credit to A. Patterson for the stream tonight. Says this moon mission is going to be a great show, man. This is, yep, it was launched on April 1st. It's just, like popularity known as April Fool's Day. Everybody can look it up. And he reminded me, which it is true. I remember because I noticed yesterday, the day before, actually, the 30th, the 31st, the cops were all over, man. We were uh, we were in Queens and Queens Village, and I was just like, man, people. And then that night, I noticed I was like, wow, it's a full moon, basically. So the April Fool thing, the moon. I mean, we already know there's a straight up. I mean, I didn't think it could get worse than Biden, but Trump too is just. I don't even have words to say for it. I mean, all of the stuff that he's talking about, this seems like a serious distraction. So there's not enough money for the citizens, as they say, because the thieves in the White House are just, I mean, it's relentless at this point. It is relentless. The theft that is just happening to the citizens by the government, basically, the intimidation. Terrorism in the Oxford Dictionary used to be defined as intimidation by government. And also now they try to say it's using violence to achieve a political goal. Well, it's that could be some of it, but when you're trying to free yourself from tyranny, that definition can be switched both ways. Intimidation by government really seems to be a serious thing, and they changed that. I think it was around 2014. But now it's sort of like, again, they're like, look, 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 the moon. And people were saying, I guess the April 1st, April Fool's thing. I thought it possibly some people were saying it wasn't real. So I was looking it up. But obviously, it is real. It is the great show of crap that is coming. It's basically moon tax. You know, people can't get a hold of the original moon footage. Supposedly, that would be a scientific achievement on another level. But we saw that they were playing golf on the moon. I think the moon lander, they were talking 28 million. I think that's a low estimate. Nobody cares. And they didn't care back when the first one was launched. It was sort of like, oh, yay, they went. And the second one, in the documentary, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, they said people were calling in complaining that it was interrupting reruns of I Love Lucy. And we know Lucille Ball or Ball, the connotations associated with that, like Lucifer Ball, Lucille Ball, uh, something very odd about that. But now with the moon mission thing, it's just it really has me wondering. I mean, the epidemic of stupidity and ignorance has went up a few notches. The whole Iran invasion, basically. I mean, who knows what to say? I mean, the fact that they can interview supporters that are still politically brainwashed, I don't even know. That's like too light of a word. When you look at the level of people that when they ask them questions and they say, hey, you know what? Biden made a quote. And I'm not supporting either side because there is no two-party system in America. There's one party. It's a dictatorship disguised as a democracy. This is the great experiment, the United States of experiments. And I saw something he was saying, where the troops, the fallen troops, that they're going to honor them. And I'm like, what? Honor them by sending more troops to die? That's basically what it is. And people can't even see that. I guess because either they weren't a veteran like myself, or, they don't have to go over there. Remember, the average American is arrogant and ignorant. Nobody is free from those feelings, but in America, they like to embrace that. They're proud of that. They're proud of their stupidity in America. And I'm born in America. I'm born, natural born American, and I'm a veteran. So when I look at people that try to act American, oh, they flying the flag and all of that, I already see the fakeness within them. Right to bear arms to what? To protect the guy that takes pictures with children in the White House? On an island that is known for is just known for some really, really, really low down stuff. And funny enough, the only person I think got prosecuted for that was Maxwell, right? The woman. The Epstein guy, they're saying, I don't think they ended him, whatever. And next thing you know, he's gone for some reason. And everybody, have they done anything to anybody in those files? I mean, now all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're going into space, forget about all of that stuff, man. We're going to tax you some more to go into space. And people clap. People like, yeah, man. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I mean, I'm saying to myself, is this real? Is the moon mission clown show real? Is it real? And apparently it is. They're going to, like, now they have the technology to fake it in a way. If they're going to fake it, I'm just going to staying within YouTube guidelines. If they were, let's just say hypothetically, nobody'd be able to tell a difference, man. I mean, now they could fake aliens on the moon and people wouldn't care, but they also, when you think about it, I think they would, thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. And that's, I have to admit, I had a little help. I had to make sure the parameters and tweak it a little with the whole thing. They, and I was like, man, when I think about it, we have, it gives me to the point. It's like, I'm drained. I'm literally drained with this stuff, man. That's why the politics, and that's all people, I have to admit, this was probably the worst time I could have picked to come out with human origins. I probably would have been better off keeping it American Zombie, but who knows? The bad decisions are just like, I don't know. That's one thing I could depend on doing in life for some reason. It's I've heard other people say they feel cursed and stuff, but sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. I don't even know at this point. When I looked it up, it said, yes, NASA is actively, NASA again. Oh my goodness, man. Never a straight answer. Is actively executing the Artemis. Now, with the Artemis, I did find out something when I was searching to see if this is like actually a real thing, or are they doing some April Fool's thing? If they are, whatever. But it seems like they're going to tax people for this. Those tax dollars will be used. And it says, I think it was that girl on YouTube. I don't want to mention her name, but she said something, she's religious. I'm not religious. I don't adhere to the religion of evolution or any other religion. I like to research. I'm just a man in search for truth using the scientific method. And if we're both on the way to the truth, we'll meet up at the same place. We don't have take the same journey, the same route. But if you're in search of truth, you'll meet up together. So she says, it's wild. Did you know the Apostle Paul preached against Artemis? a false god that fell from the sky. NASA named its space program Artemis, and the Artemis 2 is going on a moon mission today. A. Patterson brought up that they do these things on the full moon, on the waxing gibbon of the moon, a lot of events. So she's saying that Paul's teaching against Artemis in Ephesus, I think it was circa 53, 56 AD, she says, was a direct confrontation between the early Christian gospel and the dominant pagan cult of Asia Minor, which basically that's Middle Asia, because we know Europe is not a continent. That's Western Asia. You have Middle, and then you have the East, Eastern Asia, where India and China would reside, basically. So again, she goes into the dominant pagan cult, resulting in significant economic and religious disruption, detail in Acts 19. It's funny how they call it Acts 19. Paul argued that gods, with a plural, made with human hands are not gods at all. I would argue that even what Paul worshiped may not be the deity that is good also, which directly challenged the worship of an ancient mysterious image that Ephesians believed fell from heaven. And I think the quote is, and when the town clerk had quieted the crowd, he said, men of Ephesus, who is there, who does not know that the city of Ephesians is a temple, is temple keeper, the great Artemis, and the sacred stone that fell from the sky, seeing then, so it gets a little biblical there. For you have brought these men. So this has, why call it the Artemis, And somebody else, this guy Frank, said, I knew the name had a meaning. They all do, not in a good way. So I guess it seems like it has some type of meaning there, Roxana Faye, good to see you. A. Patterson says, most all free Masonic wars are started on waxing gibbous moon phase, almost a full moon. Look it up. Yeah, so anybody can check that. When I look at it, oh, by the way, Trump, Robert Morris, right? He was just released for graping a child. He was sentenced, I think, to only 4 years. He did 6 months. This guy, it was a 12-year-old girl. This pastor graped Robert Morris, and he stole her childhood, basically, abused her for years, and he's already out, due probation. He was Trump's former spiritual advisor. I'm surprised that a lot of so-called Christians and Catholics and Muslims also, Judeans, Hindus, anybody who's religious, doesn't call this out. I mean, the guy who's got pictures with 12-year-olds on his lap, allegedly, right, from Epstein Island, his pastor, his spiritual advisor, raped a 12-year-old girl and didn't even, and was sentenced to 4 years. I mean, how does that even happen? And then does 6 months and get out. I mean, this is on another level. And he's saying that, on Palm Sunday, he says, oh, Jesus entered Jerusalem as crowds welcomed, praising him as a king. And he says they call him king now. Can you believe it? So the nutcase that people refer to as Trump, they're trying to say Antichrist, all of that stuff. Remember, there's no hate like Christian love. The guy on the left, or better yet, there's no hate like religious love. That's more accurate, because it encompasses it all, the religion of evolution as well. So Ollie North now, right? The same guy who he was convicted for selling missiles illegally to Iran during the Reagan administration is now the Fox News. Well, he's been for a while, military and analyst. So the guy, he thinks now Iran shouldn't have missiles. It's like, hey, weren't you illegally selling missiles there? And of course, it wasn't just him. I think the Lord of War movie was made to to kind of like kind of say it without saying it. I'm trying to upload some of that stuff. I know I got it here. I should have put it up before, but you know, hey, let me see. Oh, and there's another guy. This guy talking about immigration. Marco Rubio trying to say that people coming over and having a kid shouldn't get citizenship. But bang, what do you know? Mark Rubio says just because you were born on U.S. soil doesn't make you a citizen. Your parents must be U.S. citizens. And the fact check says Mark Rubio was born in Miami, but his parents became citizens in 1975. So he himself is a beneficiary of birthright citizenship. If that ain't the definition of hypocrisy, what is, right? And then we got, you know, nutcase over here. So people sent me a few things when I told them I was doing the live stream. Ollie North, man, and they call him Ollie, you know, good old Ollie. No, his name is Oliver North, a convicted criminal that was selling. I mean, this guy should have, I mean, how does he even get out? You're illegally selling missiles to Iran. And now he's saying Iran shouldn't have missiles. The same guy, right? Whew, man. And this is Robert Morris, man. Robert Morris. I figure I got to stay within the guidelines with the words there. So I just flashed it. I'll edit it. So this is religious stuff people sent me saying he's the lawless one, the boaster, the arrogant one, the pathological liar, the builder of towers. It's hilarious how they put these things together. Hey, you know, could have some. Yeah, exactly. And you know, aren't they just like destroying Cuba as well? I mean, you talk about a sellout on another level. So he's a Miami Cuban talking that stuff. Find out, you know, according to them, the full moon harm. Yeah, I've heard about it. Definitely, there is a factual thing to that because police stations talk about how on the full moon and hospitals, they say that there's a lot more calls on those. The energy is high, man. Especially if you're, you know, you look at the summertime. Yeah. So yeah, all of these wars. Wow, this is some deep stuff, man. For the elite. If you're not a criminal, please don't apply. That's a good one. That is a good one, man. But yeah, it's the hypocrisy is stifling, deafening. I mean, it gets to a point where yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's really crazy. And you know, the stuff going over overseas, it just I want to talk about it, but I'm trying to, you know, refrain a little, stick to the moon mission. So, you know, he's, you know, when I look at, let me see if I can find this other one that was sent to me. It was about the moon mission again. Okay. And I've seen, you know, how I couldn't believe this. So telling the American people that you can't fund their health care and daycare on the same day that you send a rocket to the moon sure is some smooth messaging. And that's what happened. You know, this is what's happening. But the level of, like I said, ignorance, and Bonhoeffer with his theory of stupidity is so right. It's so right. I mean, you have people that are extremely ignorant that will see a person lie directly to them and do these things, but still support them. I mean, if that is not the house slave on the plantation, what is? What is, man? Mr. X, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, MD. Yeah, thanks for streaming. I was able to catch a little bit just right now, you know, get a little free time. And yeah, it's interesting subject about this moon mission. I wonder because they're going to be saying they're traveling around the moon. So I guess what they call the dark side of the moon, they're going to pass through. And with all, I wonder, it just came to me, with all these UFO reports coming from people high up in government and all these hearings, and the news is pushing it so much about unidentified flying objects. I wonder if they're going to reveal something on the moon, not purposely, to the American, to the people. Like, oh, we found something on the moon, some type of base or something. Like they knew it all along, but maybe reveal it to us for whatever reason.
Whatever they show, I would think, is a well orchestrated lie
Hmm.
created with a high level of AI and computer generated technology. We already know that people, regular people, can create newscasts with AI that is almost undetectable. You think it's a real person talking.
Oh yeah.
So, whatever they present, like when they talk, like I know Scribe believes in stuff with the alien, anything they say, I look at it as they're liars until proven to be
Hmm.
innocent. So they could show moon base. I mean, they're gonna probably put on a show and say, "Hey, just pay." Well, we don't pay tax; they take tax.
Right.
It's just another form of tax.
But then
And
there must
in
be an agenda behind it. That's what I'm thinking. They're going to do
well,
something, not just going to show it for fun, and that's the end of it. There's got to be some agenda behind it.
I mean, I would think that they're already with the fake assassination, in my opinion,
Hmm.
attempt that they had, with the ketchup on the air and the Secret Service that didn't even know how to holster their pistols prop. I mean, it was just anybody that even thinks that was real. I don't even know how do you even have a conversation with somebody like that. They'll just drain any intelligence that you have.
That's right.
So like with that, that was the premise to set it up. Like, oh look, and when he put his hand up, like oh victory, and I'm saying, wait a second, any real assassination attempt, you're not going to stand up because that gives the person another shot. It's so orchestrated, in my opinion. But people, I mean, people were getting tattoos. This is just unbelievable, unbelievable.
Hmm.
And then all of the other stuff, we saw with the Charlie Kirk thing and all of that. And I mean, the fact that they're saying the bullet doesn't match. I mean, I knew already. It's like, look, this whole thing about somebody doing something and them catching the person within minutes and nobody questions that. It just, yeah, it really makes me wonder, man. And now all of a sudden, in the midst of the stuff that's going, Ukraine, the uh the stuff in the Middle East,
Hmm.
and now Iran, and then all of a sudden we're going to the moon, and then Greenland and Venezuela and Cuba. How much of a distraction is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think about alien bases or this or that, that'd be a huge distraction.
Yeah. And
That would be
people,
huge.
they want it. People want it. Yep. The Indian and Chinese moon launches. It was like right. I mean, I couldn't even believe the fakeness of those. Yeah, it was straight clown mission. Yeah, it's definitely a distraction. A Patterson's right. A lot of symbolism, yeah, too, with the fake, with the assassination attempt. It just, and also the other one, things just they don't add up. They never did add up.
And why do they always name these missions like Apollo? And here we got Artemis. They name them after pagan gods. Is that just by chance? No. Why do they name these things after these ancient gods that were worshipped? You know,
Hmm.
what is the point of why do they have to do that every time? They call this Artemis was a famous female goddess, and Apollo, of course, was a male god. But it's always after a god. They want to name these missions.
Yeah, that I wouldn't be surprised if they make it like something is fallen from the sky, because I guess it says here that that's a god that or goddess that fell from the sky, and it yeah, I'm not really sure what exactly they're planning on doing, but when I look at it, it's it says that so there it's the Artemis program to return humans. Everybody knows. I mean, they believe the first story. It's like, come on.
But they said they will go to the far side of the moon. They will do that.
I mean, yeah, we already know. It's like the
Mhm.
film has already been made on Earth, to show that. And they're saying the Artemis 2 crew, all right, clue is underway April. And then this follows the success of the 2022 Artemis 1 uncrewed test. I didn't even know about the 2022.
Yeah,
I
me neither.
guess, yeah. And they're also planning Artemis 3. So this is like, this is a whole new type of tax that we don't have a choice.
No.
Like I said, they take it. I mean, when are people going to realize the extortion tax? The word extortion is a synonym for tax.
Hmm.
It just, man.
Well, what can we do about it realistically? Not much. Not much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can vote with our dollar. Korea, I think South Korea gave Trump a crown, right? And he, again, the ego was so inflated, a golden crown. But I think the golden crown is related to an emperor who was overthrown by the people, like mocking him basically. And he didn't know he was getting trolled. Let me see if I can find that Korean. I think it was South Korean uh, gold crown given to Trump. Uh, yeah, they're saying in October, President Lee Jae-myung. So the crown is a reproduction. Of a crown excavated from the tomb of the heavenly horse. The symbolism is known as the golden culture. Context that all right, let me see, was from a defeated emperor, maybe. Maybe it'll get a little, this is the only thing AI, can look things up quicker, but Google used to do that too. They just used to call it search before, but now, could be the same thing, just an advanced search that they call AI. So it was gifted to him. All right, they're saying it was a replica, the Golden Kingdom. So the original artifact. So it's not really. See, this is where AI gets a little. You got to dig. I mean, again, Google. Yeah. So there was something I should have saved it, man. I saw it earlier. Was given Trump to troll him. Let me see, because somebody was saying in a thing to troll him. Context: the crown was given amid national protest that accused Trump of acting like a monarch. The crowns. Okay. Some commenters on Reddit noted that the original Scylla crowns were often funerary, worn by royalty only in death. Oh, adding to the satirical interpretation. The visit also included a meal featuring beef patties with ketchup, which was seen on as a nod to Trump's personal taste. So yeah, I should have saved that other thing where they were saying Korea's just trolling on another level, hard on him. Now I was using just the Google search. The Google search just has some AI in it, man. Yeah, just yeah. Let me see. Prime says Mr. X because prominent figures in societies. Prime, good to see you, man. Again, I really think Trump may very well be the world leader. I don't know. I mean, I definitely know something's behind it, but I mean, or misleader. Misleader would probably be a better word. Ragamuffin Vision, good to see you, man. Yeah, NASA. NASA show had some April Fools with Artemis. Yeah, man. It just the level of it's ridiculous, man. The Menace, what's up, man? Yeah, you know, it just I don't even know, man. This is like it gets to a point to where it's like, what's the sense? What is the sense? It's like, why are they keeping us? Well, part of me says, why are they keeping us alive? But it don't seem. It seems like it's definitely pot in frog in the pot with the water heating up, and once you see the bubbles, you're already cooked. Because when you look at what's happening with the employment, with inflation, I mean, it's squeezing people to. It's like a pressure cooker, man. And then you got this guy, with the ballroom throwing lavish stuff in the face of people. I don't know, man. In France, what did they do? They had the revolution, right? They they broke out the guillotine. And now, in America, it's like I think gone even before that, beyond that. This is who knows what people will do. Hopefully they do what's right for the situation. I mean, if you push a person to a limit, what do you expect? And it is the United States of experiments. It's as if like they're either saying, well, let's see what humans will do if they're pushed to that limit by the other humans that we're controlling. Who knows? Architects of humanity behind the scenes. Uh, yeah, I didn't think it could get worse than Biden, but it did. But why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
of course.
Yeah.
Can't put anything past it now. And I was just looking up Artemis, I guess. Of course, she's associated with the moon, of course, but she's a Greek goddess of hunt, wilderness, wild animals, the moon, and chastity. And she's also known to be holding a torch. So I guess the Statue of Liberty is really a statue of Artemis. You
Hmm.
know, that's what it seems to be. And she's the twin sister of Apollo. So I'm just saying that they come up with these names obviously for a reason. But it's definitely a female type warrior hunter, sort of thing. So
Yeah. And all of the previously ones, they were all Apollo, right?
not all, but they had them different names. It was Viking or something like that, but I thought that was a satellite. But don't quote me on anything because I'm just going off the top of my head. But yeah, Apollo
Yeah.
was I guess I don't know if there's a difference between manned and unmanned missions too.
Yeah,
That's
the
what.
unmanned uh the unmanned yeah, I think those are like radio control. All right, what was the Viking mission? I think that was to Mars. I forgot who. I
Yeah, that
guess it
had to be
was.
unmanned. If it was to Mars, that had to be unmanned.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I look at it as I don't think there was any of that. I mean, they could try to say this is a picture of Mars from Viking. Could also be a picture from Arizona.
Sure.
So it's like, yeah, and I'm dealing with somebody that has been known to lie. So that's the other thing. If this person had told the truth and says that, you say, well, there's a reason to believe it. It could
Hmm.
still be false. But the continual lies and manipulation, the fear, the intimidation, why would you believe them?
Right.
It's
And
like
Abe Patterson makes a good point about the universal basic income. I agree with him on that. That's definitely coming because jobs are disappearing left and right with this new AI technology. And I
it's
saw what happened in New York. You're familiar with that? I guess he raised the minimum wage to $30 an hour in the city. Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't see anything with it.
it came yet.
Let me see. Because
Mandani.
the federal minimum wage is still, I think, seven and a quarter.
Right, but each state has their own
Yeah,
minimum
I
wage.
mean, they can still. I think Oklahoma still has the seven. I mean, they did a video on that. It's brutal. Let me
Because in
see.
Florida it's 14, but I heard Mandani's trying to push for 30. I don't know if it's passed already or not, or what.
It says as of January, New York minimum wage is 17
Oh, okay, so it's still at
in New
7.
York City. Yeah,
Okay, I know he's pushing for 30s. They're just gonna switch to AI. All these companies are gonna lay off people left and right.
and
Yeah.
that's only New York City, Long Island, Westchester County, and $16 per hour for the remainder of the state. So yeah, in New York City, which he could probably do that, but it says here as of January, it's $17 unless he did it. Well, it's saying proposed. Okay,
Okay, still
proposed
proposal.
changes. Yeah, for March, raising it to 30. Oh, I mean, again, look at this. The proposed rate again. This is why I don't. I mean, these are dirty, rotten scoundrels, man. Rate
Yeah.
it proposes raising the New York City minimum wage to 30 per hour by 2030.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, come on, man.
Yeah. That'll be like
2030.
17 in today's dollars.
Yeah. It's just like, holy smokes, man.
Hmm.
This is just, it's sad, man. Guy the Sage, good to see you. Yeah, definitely. They're all puppets
Agree.
without a doubt.
I agree.
Definitely Death Cult. Definitely, man. Always a pleasure, bro. Uh, yeah, man. The pressure cooker is here, man. It's definitely the universal. Yeah, I mean, you wonder about that. That's the chip. That they might be like, look, man, you can get that, but you got to do this.
And the Bible does say in Revelation, you can't buy or sell without the mark.
I mean,
And we're hitting it. We're hitting it right now. We're coming there.
I think the mark, when we look at it, the mark, could, because some people say it's the flesh, the 666, six electrons, six protons, six neutron
See?
mark of the beast. The physical flesh is beastly.
Hmm.
Could be that too. And
Yeah.
again, once
I'm
I
saying it's shaping up to a mark. It's all shaping up.
yeah,
It's all heading that direction.
once I hear it come from a religious book, I got to remember these people again are just known liars. Just and they're the first ones. I mean, like with the people that do the evolution stuff, the Christian just trying to, hey,
Right.
come on. It's creepy. It's creepy, man. I just do not. There's some good religious people, but the
Mhm.
majority are creepy liars.
No, you have no disagreement from that at all. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about the text that was written, whether or not it's valid, and it's pointing to being valid. All the signs are there that a universal basic income is definitely in the works.
Oh
There's
yeah.
not enough
Well,
jobs for people.
honestly, I think that's actually that could be the pipe dream. I mean, the fact that we would be happy with that just shows how low,
Hmm.
they have like cultivated the expectation of us. And it's sort of like it reminds me of 40 acres and a mule. Now you got black people still waiting for their 40 acres and a mule, and when they gave it to white farmers and white families that have built wealth off of that, they told black people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. I think that's what they're going to tell everybody. And everybody, we all deserve it. Because
Hmm.
if you don't stand up and fight, the fact is that men are going over to Iran to die for a coward that sits in the White House.
Agreed.
He should be sending his sons over there, right? But we're dealing with cowards, right? But they won't risk their lives to fight the person that's sending them over there to die for nothing.
But MD, it's always been like this since the beginning of time.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a lie. I think
Really?
that's a lie. That's what this is what they want us to say. Oh, it's always been that way. There's never been good stuff. There's never been a utopia. This is
Mhm.
what these are the same people that told us Christopher Columbus discovered America. George Washington couldn't tell a lie. These are horrible monsters. If people told children the truth, it would be shocking to say, you want to see the monsters? Turn the television on right there. The news, the White House. I mean,
I mean, the
it
royalty never fought, really. They sat back while the soldiers went in to die.
well, there's
Even the
also
queens.
tales of kings being on the battlefield, right? King Arthur.
Yeah, but they were sort of in the background. I mean, maybe they hyped up the story to make
Well,
them
they
look.
could have hyped it up, right? Well,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't they hype up the story they're telling us? That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Right? I'm just saying, okay, yeah, that one could be hyped. Why do we think, why are we so quick to say that one could be hyped up, but we're quick to believe the other one is gospel?
Well,
Yeah,
look at
that's all
the
I'm saying.
Iraq War. The Iraq War. The General Schwarzkopf was majorly hyped up, but he wasn't on the front lines. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, he was definitely, yeah, hiding.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the War of 1812 when they burnt the White House. President Madison ran off. Again,
Yeah.
that shows you the true nature of them. Why would you fight for a king that won't fight for you?
I think the real heroes of these wars, we never read about them in the textbooks.
I don't think there's any heroes of wars. Everybody's a fool. I mean, and that's coming from me as a veteran. I
Hmm.
mean, what is it? When you separate the scholar from the warrior, you get wars started by cowards and fought by fools. I think that was said back thousands of years ago. That I forgot if it was Greece or Egypt, but that's what it is. Kasparov, good to see you. It's a reality show to keep the slaves engaged. Yep, it really is, man. It really is. And yeah, from the Jeff, I mean, everybody's forgetting about the files. Uh
Yeah.
Patterson says, yeah, 20, this is, I mean, 2030. I mean, it's like, it's just an insult to even hear 2030 instead of this month. It just, that's the way I look at it. People, so nobody can eat till 2030, right? It's just sad, man. Yeah, I could see the RFDI chips, commercial combat. Yeah, yeah, this is and then they changed the military age, right? From 35 to 42 or something that you can go in there.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they want cannon fodder. They want cannon fodder. I mean, I joined the military at 17, waited till I turned 18 to get shipped to Fort Knox. And that was only because the recruiter was smart enough to say, look, man, he didn't tell me directly, but they would have checked to see if I had a high school diploma. When you're 18 and, it just looks more, like, all right, they blend you in with everybody. Because I think there was a person that joined at 16. I had the paper signed and everything from my parents. Yeah, the palm scan. I think in they also do that. They also do that in Sweden. Yeah, I think they have that. Orange Hitler running the country. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, man. Um, yeah, it just, they launched a
And I'm not saying I
Chipotle.
agree with any of this stuff. I'm just calling it like
Oh,
it is
nah, definitely.
based
I
on the
know.
evidence. I go with
No,
the evidence,
definitely. Yeah, I
not about
definitely
what
know.
I like or dislike, because that's
Hmm.
irrelevant to the truth.
No, well, it's easy for them because we've been so conditioned, all of us, myself included.
Hmm.
They try to hide it. Yeah, the Smithsonian. The fact that they covered up Gobekli Tepe. When evolutionists say something, it's like, well, they're not letting archaeology go forward, so we can find. AC from Casey, good to see you, brother. He said it's not just men; it's the whole man. The soldiers dancing and tweaking on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say. I don't
It's
even.
like if people are going to fight back, I don't think people, the regular public, can ever be unified. People would turn, I see more people turning against each other than unification. I
Yeah,
see that, you see that in every dictatorship. Look at a country like Cuba or North Korea. The people don't unite even though they're being oppressed. No, they actually turn on each other and report each other to the
yeah.
government.
You got the rich that has convinced poor people that other poor people are oppressing them.
Exactly.
This is the state of insanity. And you see it. They'll be marching with their right, and all of this stuff. It's like any gun law is unconstitutional.
Hmm.
Any gun law. It's like, who's somebody that, it's like, so wait a minute, I got a crook. When they say America was founded, it's just, I've always, that never sits well. I'm like, America was stolen. America was stolen, and people were forced to build the country, and other people were brought over here basically laboring for what we see people laboring today for basically nothing.
Yep.
And that's basically how this barbaric land was started. It's barbarism with a high level of technology. It is not civilization. Nobody's treating each other. The government does not treat its citizens with civility. It doesn't have compassion and cooperation. It's subjugation, intimidation, and fear. And I think people that, especially the people today that have grown up in it, they're used to it. That it doesn't feel like that. It feels like normal. Like what Stalin said, the situation has been normalized. If it has to be normalized, it ain't normal.
Right.
And that's, that's basically, we're in such a mind control. Like if we don't think just for a second, will immediately will fall back into a sense of false belief. It's that powerful. Yeah, and you're so right. The files only came out. Yeah, we're all being played, man. The files it's like when you look at that, it's like, so I need what? We need the files to tell us that these guys are pedos. That's been in the open for a while, but people don't want to believe it. And yeah, it's so orchestrated. And now in the middle of all of that, they're like, ta-da, we're going to the moon.
Yep.
It's I mean, this whole thing, it's just this requires the music. It's like, ta-da, we're going to the moon. And it's a clown show. This is the American dream. You gotta be asleep to believe it. The clown show. This is America, man. The moon mission clown show, man. And I mean, what else can I say? What else can I say? But I can only express it the way I see it, man. I can only express it's sickening. I feel sick to my stomach, man, when I think about that. I had said it before in other shows. I don't feel human with the tax and the stuff that's happening. It's basically to a point of begging. And I think one guy said, because I was very revolutionary when I was in my teens and 20s, and it wears off. You get to a point you get tired. You get tired. You use alcohol and weed and drugs. I was never a hard drug user, but alcohol is hard enough. And I didn't drink a lot, but just I think that's a numbing agent to try to stay sane. Leaving high school, people would say you dropped out and all. No, I had to leave to save my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that. I was like, hey, you know what? At least working, I can get money. Thank goodness I could, back then jobs were in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh my goodness. It was beautiful. You could turn jobs down.
I really think it was the best decade. And I'm not saying that because that's where I grew up. I've looked at over videos of older decades. I think the 80s was the best. I really do.
Yeah, the 80s were really good. I think the 90s, the only reason I say the 90s might have been a little better was because the 80s had the Reaganomics, the inflation. So the early 80s, his 8 years from 80 to 88, there was inflation. And then Bush Senior, mm-hmm. I remember when he was 88 to 92, and then it was Clinton from 92 to 2000, and I think the country was in a surplus.
Yeah.
So, that's when money was just everywhere and everybody was in Fantasy Island. The video games started getting more powerful. By the mid 90s, the home units were a little more powerful than the arcades in some sense.
They had the VHS in the 80s too. I remember. I mean, everybody was a different situation, of course.
Mm-hmm.
People grew up with little money and some people were middle class, But I remember VHS. I remember, that taking off, watching movies at home now, and there were good movies back then too.
Yeah,
there were really good ones too. And
yeah,
the music and everything. I'm just adding it all together as a generation.
Mm-hmm.
There was no war, at least. You know what I mean? We weren't being drafted into any Vietnam type wars.
I think the 80s was the Panama thing, right? And
yeah, but that was very conflict. Yeah,
I think, and then it was the Iran thing in the late 70s.
Late 70s. That was the hostage.
That was Carter, right? And then Reagan came in
and they did
that. So they're saying All right. The 1980s were marked by intense, long running conflicts, notably the 8 year Iran Iraq War. Uh, Let me see, because I typed in U.S. wars. The So 83, the invasion of Grenada.
Yep.
89, the invasion of Panama. See, they don't like to mention the Oliver North, the Contra thing. So that was going on. That's just one of the ones they don't want to tell us about. The Lebanese Civil War and confrontations with Libya and Iran. And again, Operation Eagle Claw, 1980. So I think it was wars that weren't publicized,
Yeah,
really.
they were small. They were. It wasn't like Vietnam with
Yeah,
draft.
Vietnam was on another level. Yeah,
Yeah, guys were getting drafted to go to Vietnam if you didn't go to college. I guess we
no,
were
I think even
forced.
in college they were drafting people,
Yeah,
right?
we were forced to fight. And so I'm just saying, in comparison to that, it's not too bad. I'm not saying this time is bad, but it's just
Yeah,
the social media, everything is a little
yeah.
bit.
Vietnam was just, yeah. That when I spoke with those veterans, those were, I mean, a lot of them, they're never going to heal. I saw a good quote in the. I was watching a little bit of that. It's an English. It's an English like gangster series called Peaky Blinders, and one of the main star, Thomas Shelby. He plays Thomas Shelby, that guy Killian.
Mhm.
He says they go because he was a lieutenant in the war. I think it was right after World War One, and some lady was asking him. She goes, you know, how many came back from the war? She goes, and he goes, none of us came back from the war. And that statement was so deep because nobody comes back from the military. I thought we're so changed just being in there. I start to feel the trauma that I went through as a teenager in there. It's so ingrained in me. Like
Mhm.
there was a scene in there where the IRA come to uh, shoot them in the pub. His brother Arthur is like great because they had, you know, they used, I think it was mustard gas in World War One. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff. I remember when we used to have the train wearing the whole mop gear suit with the gas masks in case we were gassed. And you know, he when they went to they had the shootout, he told them, you know, like, you know, he's like, Jeremiah, you know, let's show him the old keepsake from Passchendaele, you know, and they throw a couple of canisters. It looked like the ones that you would launch out the grenade, and
Mhm.
um, the mustard gas comes out, and they, you know, one guy comes out with the gas mask on with the machine gun, and it kind of reminded me of one of the scenes from there was a cartoon called Wizards by Bakshi, and it just it's horrifying. I mean, I was gassed at 18 in the gas chamber. They forced us to go in there, and they gassed us with C4 gas as an initiation. So it wasn't part. It's like they still have. I mean, I think about that, and it's like, and you got to put your gas mask on, and it, you know, you're breathing, and you're like, all right, they're like, everything's all right, and then they snatch the mask off you, and you start choking, and you just basically you almost drop to your knees, and you can't breathe. You start talking, and they're there telling you what's your name, what's your, you know, your serious social security, and you kind of get it out, and you start like not stuttering, but you talk like you just don't have enough air. It's like and you're trying to, and then they're like, you know, they throw you out the side, and they're like, you better have your arms flapping and your eyes open to get it off you. And snots are running down to your feet. It just and basically they were like, that's to teach you that that mask is giving you life,
Mhm.
you know, because it's like you want to mess around. It's like, you know, it really installed stuff in you. You used to have to sleep with the M16. You know, I used to date a beauty queen, and now I date my M16. That stuff just, you know, you don't think about it. I guess when I got out in my 20s, I was just an angry person because you get out and then you realize you start to learn more and more and see the injustices of the country. I never told anybody I was a veteran for at least 10 years. When I started realizing that you could get a 10% discount, I was like, oh yeah, sure. Here, I'm a veteran. Here's my card. Give me the 10% discount or, something. And then as you get older, that's when the stuff starts to surface again. And you start to, you think about it. You just, I mean, when I used to exercise and run, I used to call cadence and all of that. It was just, I mean, I wasn't the best because running, that was a little tough. I was good at all the other exercises, but the run, I would still make it. The cadence, it made you stronger. I realized it just when I got out, I was invincible basically. And, and you're basically a professional soldier. It's a nicer word than saying a professional killer.
Mhm.
And what kind of employment do you want? It's like, can I get hired as a hitman or something? It's like,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like, yeah, it's like, what the heck? And then forget about the guys that went to Nam. Those
Oh,
guys are just, yeah, it's on another level, man. And now
because
the
they were doing
guys,
mass killings. I mean, just nonstop killing real
yeah,
people. Yeah, not training anymore. Actual killing of people.
yeah,
Yeah. They went through hell.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they're never gonna be the same. They're never gonna be the same, man. It's just, yeah, the shell shock. Oh yeah, Noriega, the Panama.
Hmm.
I saw the 2000s in my early. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the 2000 was great times, man. Shell shock went to battle fatigue, and then it went into post traumatic stress syndrome, and then it had like a long. George Carlin had broke it down, man. Weed and alcohol used to keep me from rebelling while destroying our mental capacity. Yeah, they got to make it look cool to reel us in. Oh yeah, every rapper smoking weed, the rock stars drinking and smoking, rebelling against nothing. They ain't doing nothing. The government changed the department. Yeah, it was the Department of War. You're right. Good to see you, Timbo. And now it's the Department of Defense. The words, man. You guys know I've always been on the words, bro. The words are so important. Tyranny stems from the word, from the secret words. The secret words. That's what tyranny stems from, without a doubt, man. Right in our face, man. Make us docile. Yeah, yeah. It really, I think about that, man. Yeah, there has to be a time to stop, man. Yeah, Kasparov says his uncle came back from Vietnam, literal psychopath with a smile. Yeah, man. They I've seen
Mm.
people in there. I used to ask guys what the worst thing they saw in Nam, and they would speak to you different because you're wearing a uniform. Even now, if you ask somebody, you're not going to get the full thing as you would because you're going through the same trauma. I saw guys come back in as buck sergeants in, to after being in Nam, after being out for 10 years or more. And they said that, the heroin and stuff that they were on when they were over there, that was basically pumped into the troops. It was as if the US was giving it to them. And one sergeant told me, he said, yeah, if people got shot, you could get off a few more shots because of the I guess the numbing effect of the body. But if you're not on it and you get shot 6 times, you're going to drop right away.
Mm.
And it's horrible. And then they glamorize it. They say, let's make a movie about it.
Right,
Forrest
right.
Gump, right?
Yep, they do. They do. Emily, I gotta get ready for work, but I'll be listening in the background. If you're still on, I'll
Yeah,
hop.
definitely, man. Always a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you.
Pleasure having you stream. Thanks.
And Patterson says, just claim. I wish I could claim PTSD, man, and get a crazy check. Somebody was like, you don't get, I don't get nothing from the military. I get free VA healthcare. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I mean, I wish I could get disability from them. Yeah, some get 2 to 3K, yeah, a month. Yeah. I mean, and that still ain't gonna stop the crazy or the voices or something like that. But people got tonight. I still, in my right ear a little from, firing the M16 or discharging, as they would say, discharging the weapon, the rounds, not bullets, it's rounds. And it's not a gun, it's a weapon. They drill that into you. And when I heard these guys, I think, a couple of soldiers died in the Iran thing. And he's like, oh, we're going to honor the soldiers. What, by sending more soldiers to die? Is that how you honor them? Why'd you send them there in the first place? This is crazy, man. This is like beyond crazy. But yeah, in the 80s, it said in 84 to 88. So there was Iran, Iraq, U.S. Navy escorted Kuwaiti oil tankers into the Persian Gulf, leading to direct combat with Iranian forces, including Operation Praying Mantis in 1988. So there was, and then the Noriega in 89, El Dorado in Libya, covert Nicaragua, the Contras, or as Scribe would say, the Contras. El Salvador provided military, U.S. provided military aid there. Soviet-Afghan war, I think that's when they sold them the Stinger missiles. When the Soviets, they were covert funding to the Mujahideen fighting the Soviets. I remember they were saying smoke the Soviets out of Afghanistan, I guess because, of all the Afghani weed they got over there. Iran, Iraq, it's just, so there was constant war throughout the 80s. This is crazy. And these were unknown, really. Oh, my goodness. Well, the more you know, right? But yeah, the moon mission, man, it's everybody look away. When I think about it too, the first moon mission was what? In 69, I think they say. And that was right in the middle of the Vietnam War. So again, it's sort of like hey, look at this, look at what we're doing here. And massive amounts. I think they said they lost like 60,000 US soldiers in Nam. And they said more than that, double that, ended themselves when they returned. So it just, let me just check that. Did more US soldiers commit suicide from dying in Vietnam? And, I got to check this over and over and over. And they're saying, so now they're saying 58,200 were lost over there. But it was really like 60,000. They said it's even higher. And they try to say the suicide myth claimed to be 150,000 or more. But experts consider these numbers of course, the experts are just going to be liars. So I would agree with the people more. And then almost 10 million Vietnam veterans found that deployment in Vietnam theater was associated. Yeah, that gets kind of brutal, man. Holy smoke. Scribe, what's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, this.
I saw Mr. X on. He had to leave or what?
Yeah, he said he had to go to work. He might jump back on later. He's going to listen though. He said he was listening. Yeah, he was. Wow, because we were talking about some stuff in the 80s, and it didn't seem like things were going on, but yeah, a lot of stuff was going on basically. Yeah, this is the moon mission is crazy. I think it's, again, the moon mission could have been a distraction back in Nam, and now this is like the new Vietnam, because every generation has to have its Vietnam in America. It just yeah,
and they're going back soon. They said so. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this is like a total joke. I don't think. I mean, I don't think, in my opinion, I mean, I don't believe anything the government says. I always got to look it up. Like Prime said, he's right. Everything is orchestrated, man. Everything is orchestrated. It's like you would wonder, and anything they put out there in the open. What's that old saying? War is when the government tells you who the enemy is. Revolution is when you figure it out for yourself. And maybe people might figure that out. Yeah, Vietnam was a training ground that filter out the psychos for more. Oh, man, that is crazy. They went in there in 76 and napalmed everything to force the end of. Wow, man. It just really, it's sad, man. But yeah, we are in the Moon Mission Clown Show. This is it, man. The Moon Mission Clown Show. Straight
So
lunar.
that looks more realistic than the India mission.
Yeah, this definitely does, man. This is, I like the way they, portray, I put the parameters in there, tweaked it, but I did have a little help with the computer technology and a little smiley face on the moon. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's just, yeah, it gets inundating. I feel soaked with stupidity and ignorance. I try to fight it every day, but it comes back twice as strong. And then when you get around other people, it's like I got enough fight in my own, and then they dump their ignorance, and it's like just that's why I see isolation sometimes as the only cure or the only retreat, the solace to where the mind can regenerate, the emotion can regenerate, man. Terrence McKenna's right, man. Requires a level of alienation from society to keep your sanity. But like with the addiction to the internet, people don't really get that even now anymore because we can connect with people so much. To not turn. I try before I have to leave in the early hours. Is I try not to look at the computer. I try to read like a couple of pages from some of the books I have, and then I'll turn it on to check stuff. That's sometimes I don't see the emails right away because I don't check them on my phone. It just I don't even. It tells me to update. I don't even get the Google thing anymore. Like they used to have like these Google readouts, and it's like up. I'm like I ain't updating shit. It's like I use it for calling and text. I can wait till I get to the computer to check email. Most of the time I'm on the computer, basically freebasing online. That's what everybody does. I mean, we are just straight crackheads for the internet. And sometimes, like when I forget my phone, like a lot of people never forget their phone. Sometimes I'll just go to the store or I'll leave it if I'm working somewhere in the car. And it feels good. It feels good not to have it on me. I feel a sense of freedom. Yeah. But who knows how long that's going to last. Because sometimes I got to keep it with me in case if I'm expecting a certain call. And I'm like, man, I got to keep this thing, yeah, it's just, yeah, man. But any thoughts on the moon mission? Like the fakeness, the realness? Like, what do you think? Mr. X said that they think they're talking about going to the dark side. I said, it's going to be a new Hollywood production. AI, AI moon mission. As far as what I think, my opinion. Basically.
Well, now you have something to compare it to if they try to do that. Where they say, oh no, the stars don't show up because of this reason, even though we know what they're using a blacked out window to pretend that they were looking at the earth or whatever. They've been caught busted doing that. They've been busted every other conceived way with the bubbles in the water, the pull thing, the blue screen, green screens. When George Bush Sr. was going through to NASA, they had him like in a wheelchair. While he was still alive, they were carting him through. And then you look to the left, you see the guy, that same guy that shows up in the supposed IIS. He's there in that building when he's supposed to be in IIS, and he's there in front of a blue screen pretending he's doing the water demonstration, whatever. So I mean, it's just catch caught red-handed. But then again, that you need to ask, what is that thing flying up in the air? Because there is something flying around that does look like the IIS, but it's not anywhere near the altitude they're claiming.
Mhm.
What they say?
Oh, he said,
Okay,
great show, MD. Heading to work tonight. Peace to the Sagittarius brother, MD and Scribe. Thanks, brother.
Definitely,
The stream, I give credit to A. Patterson because he wrote to me and he mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, man, that's, he left a comment. That's what it was. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, definitely. I wasn't sure. I thought, I was like, I didn't know if this was real. I'm like, they got to be kidding me. They're actually like, I'm like, this is a real thing. I think from what I'm seeing as I look it up. I mean, these guys are literally doing this stuff again. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. I mean, they're actually saying yes, they're going there, and we know it's AI. That's what I think. It's like moon tax, man. Moon tax. Like, look, and then again, it's like maybe the Iran thing is gonna get a lot worse. It might be the new Vietnam. Who knows? I mean, not
That's
sure.
what the Jian guy predicted. He said Trump's going to win, or before Trump got elected, Trump's going to win, and then we're at war with Iraq, and then Iran, and then Iran is going to turn into a Vietnam situation.
Well, he doesn't care
Big country.
because he ain't got to go, right?
The what?
Trump doesn't have to go, right?
No, of course not. That's the whole thing, man. But nowadays, it's like, it should be minimal casualties. It should be a drone versus drone war type of situation.
I mean, they call them armchair warriors when I was in the military. Rare echelon, armchair warriors. Cowards, basically. It's like somebody wants to go, send your sons then. It's like you got innocent people and the lies. He's like, oh, the families of the fallen soldiers are like, get the job done. And I mean, the lies are inundated. It's like, so look at who was that lady? Cindy Sheehan, I think, or something, or Sandy Sheehan. Her son was killed in Iraq, I think during Bush Jr., and she went around protesting that for like his whole entire thing. Let me see. Was it Cindy Sheehan? American activist, right? That's what they call it. A poor lady that lost her son, 68 years old. Thank goodness if she's still alive. She attracted national and international media attention in 2005 for her extended anti-war protests and makeshift camp outside of George Bush's Texas ranch. I think she used to have a pair of her son's boots there. It's sad, man. That poor lady, man. I see how some mothers are attached, and it's like to lose their son. That's horrible. And then you got these monsters. These freaking monsters, man. How could anybody call any American president a human being, man? Or any of the cabinet? It just now they're like, oh, wait, go look. We're going to the moon. We're taking more money from you to go to fake another lie, basically. To make another.
What if the controllers say, yes, we are doing this to you on purpose? What are you going to say?
Well, I think I can't say that on the air. I can't say that on the air.
Say it in a nice way. Say it.
Veterans know what to do. People know in their heart what to do, and they know the reason they feel like a piece of shit is because they're not doing what they feel in their heart. What do they say?
Doing this
a hero dies once, a coward dies 1,000 times, man. And that's just, this is where I'm just like, look, man. What's that old saying? I think I saw a meme. It said, vote from the rooftops. That was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. The guy on the rooftops. I was like, these guys. And I saw that back on MySpace during the Bush thing. During the Bush thing, people were off the handle, man. They not my president, one-term president. The fact that he had a second term, I was like, oh, the zombie machine is on 10. It is on 10. I mean, the fact that you can look back at George Bush and be like, man, that was actually, he's like a cool president compared to this crap. Everything that came after him. And I don't think any person in politics is trustworthy. They have to prove that first. But for some reason, so Camp Casey in 2005, Cindy Sheehan. This lady's a hero, man. This lady's a hero. So she was driven by the death of her son, who was killed in action, right, in Iraq. And we know in 2004, they always lie about that. They always, killed. That's what they try to say about Pat Tillman. And they found out, he got bucked by somebody on his own team. Yeah. So she, Camp Casey, she set up a camp in Crawford, Texas to demand a meeting to ask for the noble cause for which her son died, challenging the justification for the war in Iraq. Just like this this guy's saying, what they call Orange Hitler, Sage and Confused had mentioned that. That's funny, man. That is kind of funny. Yeah, man. This is Gold Star Families for Peace. She founded a political campaign. She ran for Congress as an independent against Nancy Pelosi, receiving 16% of the vote. She was later, I mean, I've seen people so dedicated to just trolling politics. They had a vote for D's nuts. I didn't even think it was real. I mean, I tell you, I hand it to I got to give the activists credit. I have to give them credit, man, for at least fighting, at least saying something. Yeah. But we're back to the clown show, man. Got these freaking barbarians over here. Criminals. The United States of Criminals. This is where I live. United States of Criminals, man. Yep. That's where I live. The asylum, or planet Earth. We might as well all wear straitjackets, man. Just, I can only hope for.
It's also what money creates too. It drives people to create fake stuff, whatever it takes to make money.
I mean,
this is mine. You stay in the street, eat dog shit the rest of your life, man. I'm gonna go over here, eat steak, and ignore you, even though you're my brother.
I don't even think it's brother.
That's what money has done. There's families, people.
No, it's not money. It's not money. It's the love of money. It's greed. It's lust for power.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
It's not just money, because you can use money as a tool, or to do good or evil. When you look at the way it's used, a spoon, you can gouge somebody's eye out with it, or you can eat with it.
Yeah, it's a tool, but at the same time, it creates
greed.
It's
the person,
artificial greed.
You know why people say stuff like that? To get away from taking accountability for their behavior. It's about behavior.
It's a fake, uneven thing, and bartering should be.
It's not the money, man. It's not the. And then what about when people barter and they rob each other? When they go to give the goods and trade it, and they end up getting robbed or killed. So is it the barter then? No, it's the behavior. I'm looking at it scientifically. I'm just saying, look, this is what the evidence is pointing toward, that Look at the whole creation of the devil and all of that. Basic. Now, I'm not saying it's not, couldn't be some entity like that, but it's kind of like tells you, don't take responsibility for your actions. Blame that, or once, it's her religion. I mean, religion is to many extents horrible, man. It allows these. What did Trump say? Oh, he's chosen. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. People believe that, and people are believing that. These are the modern day lynch mobs. When you look at the Trump supporters, I'm not going to say the Democrats are too far behind, because there are some people, that are in that party that are not trying to do good. But when you look at some of these people, man, it's like, I said it on the last stream. People say, oh, they want to see, fairies and witches and werewolves. They can't even deal with people of different colors, but they talking about all this fantasy stuff they want. That's the immaturity of the Western world, which is a barbaric. It is just a barbaric conglomerate with high technology. There's nothing resembling civilization. Just, yeah. But,
well, we don't know what it looks like to be civilized, so therefore it doesn't exist here. And to say the devil or whatever,
no,
yin yang,
what it looks
screws, you
like
need both sides. You need
No, we
black and
know.
white.
We just know that this isn't it. Because if we didn't, we have to know what it is, because we know what it isn't. It's not
Right,
this.
we know what it isn't, but we've probably experienced it before. But this is something completely new, different,
I'm not
rigged,
sure.
prepared.
I mean, you look at this meme, it's like telling the American people you can't fund their health care, their daycare, but on the same day you send a rocket to the moon. It's like, you think about that, and it's like this guy over here, super sellout. It just, and the crazy thing is, you got Trump's pastor got convicted for raping a 12-year-old girl, and only got sentenced to 4 years and got out in 6 months. But look at the moon. Look at the moon. We're going to the moon. Don't think about that, man. Don't think. Look at the colors, the moon show. This is the type of stuff they cover up with that. People don't like the reality that the people sitting in these positions are, I mean, the disgust level. Am I the only one that's feeling this? I mean, they talk of people. I hear other people talk about a soul and all of that. How? They don't feel nothing. Then what the hell is the worth of that? Maybe I don't have a
Feel
soul.
for you.
I'd rather
for you,
feel
but
than
for their
have a
family they
freaking
do.
soul that's dead. I'd rather
They only
have
care about their
feeling.
family.
Huh?
They only care about their bloodline. Even some don't even care about that.
Oh, well, even regular citizens, man. It's like, what the hell? Cindy Sheehan, that's a lady who was feeling. She was like, no, I want to speak.
She had a personal loss. If she would have done it out of instead of that personal
Well,
loss, seeing
if
it's
you
wrong.
feel that people are your brothers and sisters, then everybody loss is a personal loss, right? So to say,
if I lose someone, if I lose my son like that, then I'm going to,
no, but
who
to
knows what's
say
gonna happen,
that we're brothers and sisters, then you should look at it like that, right?
but ain't no one saying that. They're pretending that.
I mean, I give this lady a lot of credit, man. This poor lady, you think about that, it's like, wow.
She was doing exactly what every woman that loses a son should be doing. And
Not
since we
every
don't take
woman.
accountability for our government, we don't take accountability for our government. We deserve what we get. That's just how it is.
And
It's
she
like when they
wanted,
say we need the guns in case of a tyrannical government. Well, we have a tyrannical government. We haven't done nothing about it, so it's on us. And we can sit here and complain all day about it, but it's not going to do nothing until we take, some type of action or something going on. Something.
I mean, you look
gotta
at
be
the
something there.
protests. You look at, I mean, it might just, it's a situation it ain't pretty. I'll tell you that. It ain't pretty. But she ran for the Peace and Freedom Party. That ain't happening. See, when you know the reality, it's like you can't vote your way out of tyranny. You start to realize that if you're lucky. She authored several books. Wow. Peace Mom, A Mother's Journey Through Heartache and Activism. Wow. And Not One More Mother's Child. Holy smokes, in '05. I was so uncaring about anything in '05 and '06, man. I was just a full-blown idiot back then. And I was still much more aware than most people. So when I think about it, Bonhoeffer is totally right with his theory of stupidity, and Cipolla with the 5 basic laws of human stupidity. These guys saw it. She has described herself as a socialist. I don't know. You know what they say? A socialist is someone who wants everything you got except for your job. And what's a liberal? A liberal is just a conservative that hasn't been mugged yet. So and she has been a critic of both Republican and Democrat foreign policies. Yeah, they're both. It's a one-party system. And she hosted. Wow, she had weekly radio shows. You know, Cindy Soapbox, but it just she's still playing by the rules, which I understand. But you know, if you're just gonna have a talk show, at least you got to go beyond. You got to go too far, because that's where you find the truth. Always got to go too far. That's the only place you find the truth. Sheehan has been a polarizing figure. Wow. Yeah, yeah, you think about that, man. Nobody cares. Nobody, this lady's screaming. Nobody cares. Nobody even remembers.
That's why we need an equivalent of what the government has, president, all these things, but we need them for the public people. A president for the public that speaks for us, and the president for the government, which is a completely different entity that has nothing to do with you. Just runs the country apparently. We need to have someone who lets us, you know, who cares about what's going on with us. So since the fact that doesn't even exist, what do you think's going to happen? You know, you let this other thing, one hand is running the whole thing, and there's no other accountability mechanism for us to let us know the money and everything's going properly, and you know everything's running correctly. No, we can't have that, or it doesn't exist. You know, so again, that falls back on us.
Falls back on the people that just
on us, because if we're mad about it and we're saying, look, you know, like, well, then you got to organize yourself and you got to get all the evidence and everything, get it together, get people to petition. You have to organize, you know, all that stuff. Kind of like what Charlie Kirk did, and you saw what happened to him. So,
no, his thing goes. What happened to him is not being. They're you already know it's not what they're saying. That guy now, that I don't know if you noticed that the cop that they were saying that took in the Tyler guy, they're saying the bullet doesn't match up. So now he might walk.
I can't believe that's crazy that would even come out.
And I think that cop resigned. So, you know, look, Trump just fired the attorney general, I think. Bondi, whatever her name was, Pam Bondi or something. Remember, Nixon didn't go to jail for Watergate. His attorney general did, though, according to what they say. Because you never know. You just never know. We're dealing with the clown show. We're dealing with the clown. This is circus level trolling on the population. Circus level trolling. Yeah, Sheehan. Yeah, she it's sad because she tried to do it. Yeah. She tried to do it, but again, it's like the religious people that get assaulted by the butt pirates and their religious establishment, and then they run right into the arms of the religion of evolution, thinking it's science. Is the same way I think she saw the Democratic Party was a bunch of BS, and then I think she almost ran into what they call the realization of organic Marxism, which ain't too good. I think Karl Marx let like two of his kids starve to death or something like that, if I remember correctly. But then she later reflected that these ideas were Marxist in nature and focused on organic Marxism, where communities have control over their own systems. It's funny because you have control over your own system, you're growing your own food, and then you see the water is impure due to a chemical plant or something that was put there, possibly even purposely. Look at Love Canal, building a town on a toxic waste dump. And until people started getting, like medical problems, that's when they realized. And it's like, holy smokes. So it's like we all live on Love Canal. I mean, Love Canal. I remember when my brother-in-law told me about it like 10 years ago. I was like, what the hell is Love Canal? And he's like, you didn't know, it's Superfund sites. And Superfund again. So, because they fund it with there's no thing as government funding. It's all taxpayer funded, extorted taxpayer money to fund something. And they'll say, well, the government funds it. No, again, the words are so important to know. Jeffrey Phillips, what's up, man? Good to see you, man. My apologies. I've been back and forth on the Windows. If you want to hop on, we got the link pinned to the top of the chat, bro. Let me see. Is it still there? What the hell happened to the link? Holy shit. I thought it was up there. StreamYard been bugging, man. They claiming all this stuff. I got to pay them soon, too, man. This is like freaking bastards, man. Let me see. All right, yeah, that's the link if you want to hop on. Jeff, speak. Maybe you got something to add in. Yeah. The moon mission, man. The freaking moon mission. It's like, I didn't even think it was true. I was like, you got to be kidding me. The moon mission being true. And people are actually believing this. That's the craziest thing. They're actually believing this. They had a thing with NASA has a YouTube channel with like 6,000 or something people watching. And you can't comment because it's in subscribers mode. I was like, these guys afraid. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So you can't fix your country, but you go on the moon, right?
It's like, don't look at the ocean. It's like, have you mapped the ocean? Nah, there might be something down there that we don't want you to find. Let's look over there. Look at the moon. The fact that they cover up archaeological sites and then they got this whole cult of evolution telling you, nah, we search for human origins. That's modern science. We explore moving forward, looking for material answers. We don't care about the non-corporeal and stuff because we're idiots. We claim to have civilization when it has never existed. We're a barbaric, just monstrous conglomerate. It's like a psychopathic full-grown child with weapons, basically of mass destruction. It's like they accused other people of having. And I'm not saying those other people would have did something good. I mean, I'll trust nobody with heavy weapons like that. I mean, especially psychopaths that we see over here. I mean, but the more you look into it, the fact that people don't want to think, man, ignorance has no prejudice. To think, the Greeks with the atom, it means uncuttable. It's like, maybe if something's uncuttable, it's uncuttable, man. And to say that, they can split it well, okay, maybe, but could it be like a very, very, very large conventional explosive? It's possible. And then when we look into the to the research, we start to say, man, it could really be that. Let me see. Who was the colonel? The colonel that questioned if nukes were used on Nagasaki. And you know what's funny is Nagasaki and Hiroshima, what's right in between them, I think, is the 33rd parallel. And Hiroshima as being conventional bombs. Okay, let's see if AI is actually worth what we think it's worth. All right, general downplaying. Well, no, this guy died in a plane crash. Man, I don't know where I put that research because I know I had it a few years ago. Matter of fact, Dirty Benny hooked me up with that. I got to give him a lot of credit for that. Dirty Ben, haven't seen Dirty Benny in a while. I hope he's all right. That the atomic bombs were effectively conventional in their results because is that the guy? Like how did he die? Because I remember the other guy. Yeah, this might or might not be the guy. I don't know. I'm getting tired anyway, man. It's freaking 11 o'clock. It's like, I wonder about streaming. It just pisses me off at this point. I don't think that was the colonel. I'm just thinking how to word it, because that's the thing. You got to word it correctly. It was a colonel who met with the plane crash. I think it was by South America. This might be the guy. The officer you are likely referring to is Colonel Paul Tibbets. Pilots of the... While Tibbets did not believe the bombs were conventional, the description of a high-ranking officer questioning the nature of the bombings. Okay, after retiring, he served as the president of Jet Aviation. Okay, now the Net Jets. And it was an incident in Columbus, Ohio, not South America. But this might not be the guy. Howard Richardson. So in 58. Yeah, I'd have to look it up some more just to try to find it, man. But who knows? If you have anything, I would add it, because unless you want to do the show.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, this is the pastor that raped the 12.
Yeah, 6 months.
The spiritual advisor to this guy in the White House.
Like, you already know the guy knows the judge, so
ends up being it. Well, I mean, it's like, if that, I mean, how many people? It's like, okay, the spiritual advisor to the president gets convicted of rape of a 12-year-old girl and gets 4 years. I mean, that's when you look at the insanity, and then gets out in 6 months. That's the insanity of it. Ollie North. Remember Oliver North? Oh, no, that's Ollie. He's a good guy, right? He was arrested and convicted for illegally selling missiles to Iran during the Reagan administration. And now he's a Fox News military analyst who thinks Iran shouldn't have the missiles. Ain't you the same guy that sold them the missiles illegally? I mean, hypocrisy is crazy, man.
So that guy was on TV for years and years and years, the Panama thing and all that.
They're like the good guy, Ollie, man. He's just, if I only had a brain. That is the scarecrow. He's like, look, man, I got a brain, but let's go to the Wizard of Oz and, you know, singing a song. Bum, ba-dun, dun-dun, 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 if I only had. It's like, bro, you got a brain. You figuring stuff out. Well, let's go to the wizard, and he'll give him this piece of paper, and the lion, the cowardly lion, will give him a medal, right? A badge, basically. A badge that says courage. Who else has a badge that they think is courage, right? And then the Tin Man,
They work. Yeah.
you know, the guy that works until his joints freeze up, and he uses the oil. I think the oil was a metaphor for alcohol to keep him going in a hopeless situation, basically, that eats his heart away. But he always had a heart. You know, he always had a heart, man. But it's just evolution, man. It's just evolution, you know, just evolution. We see, you know, yeah.
What's happening in this is actually weird in evolution. You know, these things called humans are now supposedly created this thing called AI, which we can't even explain.
I don't think humans
So,
created it. I think it's either re-engineered.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's even crazier than anything that we've ever seen.
well, now they're going back
It's
to the
happening right now.
Yeah, they're doing.
Mhm.
They're going back to create the moonlight and give their gold star to the man child again. Anybody who says, "Hey, you know what? Look, they really went." Yeah, but if you want to wake up, you know, it's going to be a brutal awakening like this dude had in the Matrix, looking around, seeing everybody in the pods. That's some brutal stuff to look through and see that. Wake up, see everything you ever thought was a lie.
That means you could say the ones that woke up are the chosen ones by whatever force to allow them to see. Something's in them that lets them see.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Because all those people get treated badly.
I don't know.
When it comes out with the truth, is locked up or called crazy or, you know, ridiculed. That's it.
I don't know if they're the chosen ones, or what is the chosen? You know, I wonder about that. It's like
To observe because we were able to see. Not chosen ones by God. I'm saying chosen ones that we were put here already knowing that we could see from the beginning, but we had to see a few things happen to really for it to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people go through life, all these things, no unlock. They just keep going no matter what happens. You can tell them, show them proof, everything. That doesn't matter.
Well, what we see, like this picture here, this picture looks like the lines are crooked. So are we really seeing what we think we're seeing? Because the lines aren't supposed to be crooked. I mean, I gotta check to see. Like if you squint like really good, you'll see the lines straighten out. These are exactly straight lines going horizontal and vertical. This is the power of illusion. This is the power of when somebody says, well, you know, I saw it. Really? I'm trying to squint. Yeah, that when you squint, you can see them. I mean, it's getting late. Oh, yeah, if you squint, you see how straight they are. They're exactly straight, but you got to squint to notice it. Open your eyes wide, and it's looking crooked. It looks like they're crooked, especially the horizontal ones. Yeah. So it's like being able to squint and see the darker blue lines go straight. Yeah, they're perfectly straight, and you open your eyes and you see them as crooked. That's the power of illusion, man. It is what it is, right? It's like, holy smokes. I had that other one, but we live in an epidemic of immaturity. I mean, the monsters are due on Maple Street. We went from a world where street lamps were decorated, right, to the basic, this guy was saying communism and atheism did this, and that could be very accurate, man, from their Lord and Savior, Darwin, the preservation of the favored races in the struggle for life, Meanwhile, we see life cooperating, animals teaching us how to be more humane than humans ourselves. But, the Moon Mission Clown Show. Yeah. If you want to stay on, I'm going to go to bed, man.
Yeah,
Tired.
I'm about to bounce too. Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. Take care.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. You too.